I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to read to you something that I wrote. I guess I would describe this as being free verse Sapphic poetry. A letter to an old friend. I loved you, and it was only by admitting to myself that my first love was you, my muse, my best friend, a fellow girl, that I was able to let you go. I can only imagine a future, a vision for what I want my life to look like, now that I've admitted that I had a dream, a goal. I wanted to live with you. I wanted us to be old ladies, brandishing our keyboards at annoying kids who tried to step on our lawns, telling them, "Get off!" And they'd be thinking us archaic and backwards and old-fashioned for having an ancient keyboard instead of whatever technology will be newfangled and modern when we're old enough to live in old folks' homes. I still smile when I think of you, of all the fun times that we had together, and I realized that I wanted to move in with you. I wanted us to have a future together. It's not a future that's meant to be, but I thought it was impossible for all the wrong reasons. It's fine that it didn't work out, because you weren't into me back. I never allowed myself to mourn the future, because it wasn't one that I thought possible. I couldn't imagine myself being gay. I couldn't imagine me living happily ever after with a kind-hearted woman who respected me, who liked coming up with silly stories, who kept me in check by suggesting better ideas when I took our little universe into outlandish directions. You made the world more grounded, more realistic. You were a rock, and I was like water, pouring down upon you and trying to change you. I wonder if I might have been a bad influence on you, encouraging you to stay up when you should have been sleeping, wasting our time imagining stories, instead of encouraging you to study and figure out your dream career. Maybe we both wanted to be writers in our hearts, and so maybe I didn't suggest to you to focus on making your future better for your own sake, because I supposed my future would be intertwined with yours, because surely we'd both be published and be raking in the royalty checks. So why should I have told you to focus on your studies instead of hanging out with me? For that matter, I suppose that I went down an unconventional path myself. I got my degree in creative writing, of all things, an associate's in something that is not exactly known for paying bills. I sometimes think that I should have gone into gender studies, because at least then I'd probably get a job in HR. I wonder what became of you, but I also don't want to know. I want to imagine that you're immensely happy, that you've got a blog, that you've published poetry, that you quit smoking and dine on cheese and fairy bread. I want to imagine that you've got a roommate who inspires you to find happiness, to work on your goals, and that if you're not aromantic, that you've got a significant other who adores you and builds you up every single day and buys you flowers from the farmer's market and who does all the laundry so that instead of fretting the little tasks, you can better focus on your writing, which sometimes I think isn't really work, probably because it's so much fun that I don't even count it as working. And I imagine that you're paying your bills by doing something that you love instead of having to work at something that'll make you sad or won't fulfill your creativity. I don't know what happened to you. I don't want to realistically think about what happened to you, because I want you to be immeasurably happy, with or without me, because you are your own independent being deserving of happiness. And because I've moved on. It is only through admitting that I loved you that I've been able to find a future for myself, by admitting that I wanted a future with you, that I can plan my own future without you, because I needed to mourn a loss I didn't want to admit that I was grieving. You will always be in my memories. You were my first real love, my first substantial love, whom I want to find happiness for her own sake, rather than to please me in some way. The first mature love that I developed. You will always be a part of my story, and developing who I am as a person, for being there with me and for me, creating memories that formed who I am today, for shaping my imagination and bringing me structure. You were a rock and a gem on the inside, like the one Annalise finds in Barbie is the Princess and the Pauper. You are a foundation on which my visions for the future were built, and it is only by excavating myself from you and admitting that you were there, that I can change and grow and settle upon new land and build a new future with a new person, be it woman or man, or someone of some other gender identity someday, if things don't work out with staying for whatever reason, that I can carve out my future. My future is not with you, Violet, and nor is my present, but you were a part of my past, and I must mourn you and admit that you existed to let you go. I loved you in my own oblivious way. I will not pretend that I would have made you a good girlfriend. I suspect that you are happier without me. We never dated, which is why I've always told my family and those who asked that we were never together, because we were never together. But the statement almost maligns the truth, because I did have feelings for you. They were unrequited. We were never together, but I was, in retrospect, very interested in a future with you. All the best to you, dear. I speak these words into the void, or into permanence, because there's a saying that the internet is forever, to give myself freedom, to unfetter the ties that have shackled my soul, to escape from the closet of my own making, to accept my bisexuality, rather than for you to hear them, if, by chance, you ever stumble upon this poem. I wish you happiness. I respect your decision. I am sorry for being so oblivious to my own feelings, and for all of the antics and annoying things that I assuredly did when we were young and dumb and stupid. Best of luck to you, Violet, and I hope that you have a happy life. Sincerely, I'll.